You've been robbed. Not by a thief, not by your boss, not even by your bank. You've been robbed by a screen, a little glowing rectangle that fits in your pocket. And the worst part? You thanked it for doing it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how your spending habits were programmed by an algorithm that studied your insecurities and decided what you should buy. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Let's start with something simple. You wake up on a Saturday morning, you grab your phone, you're not shopping, you're not even thinking about money, you're just scrolling, just killing time. But here's what's actually happening inside your brain. You see a guy your age, nice apartment, clean furniture, big windows, golden hour light pouring in. He's sipping coffee from a mug that probably costs $40. And you look around your room, your old couch, your scratched table, your curtains from 3 years ago, and something shifts inside you. It's not jealousy exactly, it's more like a question. Why don't I have that? That tiny little moment of discomfort, that's worth billions of dollars to the companies watching you scroll. Because that feeling has a name. Psychologists call it relative deprivation. It means you don't feel poor because you are poor. You feel poor because someone nearby looks richer. And social media didn't invent this feeling. But it did something far worse. It made it infinite. See, 50 years ago, you compared yourself to maybe 20 people. Your neighbors, your coworkers, your cousin who got the nicer car. That was it. Your comparison pool was small, manageable. You could handle it. But today, you compare yourself to 10,000 people. Every single day, strangers in Dubai, couples in Bali, college kids with sports cars. Your brain wasn't built for this. It was designed for a small village, not a global highlight reel running 24 hours a day. And this is where it gets dangerous, because your brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a social media post. When you see someone living a life you can't afford, your brain triggers the exact same stress response as if you were being physically left behind by your tribe. Your cortisol spikes, your self-worth drops, and your brain screams one word at you. Fix this. Fix this now. But here's what most people don't realize. That feeling, it doesn't just sit there. It moves you to your wallet. Let me show you how this works step by step. You're scrolling. You see someone with brand new headphones. You didn't need headphones 5 minutes ago. But now you're thinking about them. You check the price. You read the reviews. You add them to your cart. And 2 days later, they arrive at your door. You open the box, you feel great for about 15 minutes. Then you go back to scrolling. And the cycle starts again. With shoes this time. Or a jacket. Or a subscription box. Or a gym membership you'll use twice. This isn't a spending problem. This is an engineered behavior loop. And it was designed by some of the smartest people on the planet. Here's how the machine actually works behind the scenes. Social media platforms don't just show you random content. They track everything. Every post you pause on, every video you watch twice, every product you click, and from all that data, they build something called a psychological profile. It's a digital map of your insecurities, your desires, your weak spots. If you paused on a fitness influencer for 3 seconds, the algorithm now knows you're insecure about your body. So it shows you more fitness content, then gym ads, then supplement ads, then workout gear. It's not random. It's a funnel. And you are the product being funneled. The algorithm doesn't care if you're happy. It cares if you're engaged. And nothing keeps a human more engaged than the gap between where they are and where they think they should be. Now here's where most people make a critical mistake. They think this only affects weak people, impulsive people, people with no self-control. But that's not true. Research shows that the smarter you are, the more vulnerable you might be, because intelligent people are better at rationalizing. You don't say, I'm buying this because Instagram made me feel bad. You say, I deserve this, or this is an investment in myself, or I've been working hard. Why not? Let's talk numbers for a second. The average person spends about 2.5 hours a day on social media. That's almost 1,000 hours a year. In those 1,000 hours, you're exposed to roughly 5,000 ads. not counting the organic posts from influencers who are also trying to sell you something. And studies show that people who use social media heavily spend about 30% more on non-essential purchases than people who don't. 30%. That's not a rounding error. That's a second rent payment every single month. But wait, it gets worse. Because the comparison cage doesn't just make you spend more, it makes you earn differently too. Here's what I mean. When your brain is constantly comparing your life to other people's highlight reels, it changes what you optimize for. Instead of building wealth quietly, you start optimizing for visible success. You pick the job with the better title instead of the better salary. You lease the nicer car instead of buying a cheaper one outright. You rent the apartment in the trendy neighborhood instead of the one that would let you save an extra $500 a month. You're not building a life anymore. You're building a display. And displays are expensive. Very, very expensive. There's a term for this. Economists call it status signaling. It means spending money not because you need something, but because you need other people to see that you have it. And social media turns status signaling from an occasional thing into a full-time job. Now here's the plot twist that most people never see coming. The people you're comparing yourself to, the influencers, the lifestyle accounts, the guy with the clean apartment and the $40 coffee mug, most of them are broke too. I'm serious. A survey found that almost half of influencers earning over $100,000 a year reported feeling financially stressed. Half of them. They have the followers. They have the brand deals. They have the ring lights and the matching outfits. But they don't have savings because they're trapped in the same cage you are. They have to keep looking rich to keep making money. The moment they stop performing wealth, the brand deals disappear. They're not free. They're employees of their own image. So let me get this straight. You're going broke, trying to look like people who are also going broke, trying to look rich for you. That's not a mistake. That's a perfectly designed system, and someone is making a fortune off every single person inside it. Who? The platforms, the advertisers, the brands. They sit at the top of this machine, feeding comparison into one end and collecting your money from the other. They don't need you to be happy. They need you to be almost happy, just dissatisfied enough to keep buying, just hopeful enough to think the next purchase will finally fix the feeling. But it never does. And that's by design. So how do you escape the comparison cage? How do you break a system that was literally built by engineers and psychologists to keep you trapped? Step 1. You have to see the cage. And if you've watched this far, congratulations, you already have. Most people never get this far. They scroll, they spend, they wonder where their money went, and they never connect the dots. But you just did. That awareness alone puts you ahead of 90% of people. Step 2. Audit your inputs. I don't mean your budget. I mean your feed. Go through every account you follow, every page, every creator, and ask yourself one question. Does this account make me feel grateful for what I have, or anxious about what I don't? If the answer is anxious, unfollow. Not because they're bad people, but because your brain cannot tell the difference between inspiration and inadequacy when it's being hit with 5,000 images a day. Step 3. Create a 24-hour rule for any purchase over $50. If you see something you want, you wait 1 full day. If you still want it tomorrow, fine. But most of the time, you won't. Because the urge wasn't real. It was manufactured. Your brain needed the dopamine hit of wanting it, not the thing itself. Step 4. Replace the scroll with a mirror. Instead of looking at other people's lives for 2 hours a day, spend 30 minutes reviewing your own finances, your savings, your debt, your goals. This sounds boring, I know. But here's the truth. The most powerful financial tool in the world is not a stock tip or a side hustle or a crypto coin. It's knowing your own numbers, because when you know where you stand, other people's highlight reels lose their power over you. Step 5. And this is the hardest one. You have to accept that building real wealth is invisible. It doesn't look good on camera. Nobody posts their index fund balance. Nobody flexes their emergency savings. Nobody goes viral for paying off their credit card. Real wealth is quiet. It's boring. It's unsexy. And that's exactly why it works. Because the moment you stop performing for the comparison cage, you start keeping the money that used to flow right through your hands. Here's the uncomfortable truth about all of this. Nobody is coming to rescue you from the comparison cage. No policy, no regulation, no app update. The platforms prot from your insecurity. They will never voluntarily fix this. The only person who can break this cycle is you. And it starts with one decision: to stop letting a screen tell you what your life should look like. You already have everything you need: a brain that works, a pair of eyes that can read a bank statement, and now the awareness that the game was rigged against you from the start. The question is, what are you going to do about it? If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button, because every week we break down the invisible systems designed to keep you broke. And the more you understand these systems, the harder it becomes for anyone to use them against you. I'll see you in the next one.